thanks for joining us on Day Planner. You tuned in just in time for the tropical update.
And we know we've been talking certainly about Hurricane Sandy all day long, but let's go now to our hurricane specialist, and this is Dr. Greg Postel. And when we look at Hurricane Sandy, are we talking about a hurricane in the Northeast or some sort of a hybrid? I don't think it really matters, though, whatever we call it.
No, it doesn't matter at all, in fact, and that's one of the things we've been stressing, because we are going to be dealing with a very large system with impacts from high winds, heavy rain, coastal flooding as well, and so it's going to have all the hallmarks of a hurricane-like feature in some parts of it, and a nor'easter in other parts. So I don't want to get bogged down into, trying to pigeonhole it into one thing or another. What we do know is what we have right now, and that is a hurricane, and this is Hurricane Sandy. The winds are 75 miles per hour. That's come down just a little bit, but don't take your guard off because it just come down 5 miles per hour since the last advisory. It's still a very potent storm. Pressure's 971. It's moving north at 7 miles an hour. And looking at the satellite image, the center of circulation is actually in about here, right underneath this recent flare-up of thunderstorm activity. South of that, really, there's not a whole lot of thunderstorm activity. It's lopsided primarily to the north, and that's because we have some strong southwesterly winds moving right atop of Sandy right now, and that is perhaps bringing the intensity down just a little bit, but we still have impacts on the Florida coast right now. Let's have a look at some of those and see exactly what they are showing in some of these data that we can find. Look at some of these buoys. These buoy reports are wave heights almost 30 feet right off the Florida coast near where the center of circulation is, much closer in. We're seeing 15, 16-foot waves. These are offshore. These aren't the breaking waves right on the beach, but still very significant wave heights, or very high wave heights, all up and down the eastern seaboard. And looking at some of the recent observations, the winds are generally out of the north, gusting to about 30 miles an hour in Miami, a little bit stronger all up and down the coast here. We have had some reports of gusts up to 50 miles per hour. We did have some yesterday, had some again today. Farther up the coast, not quite as strong yet. They may pick up a little bit, but not a whole lot. We are gusting to 30 in Jacksonville right now, 22 in Savannah, 23 in Beaufort, North Carolina. Those winds I don't think will pick up a whole lot, because what we're going to see in the hurricane is a gradual turn toward the northeast, and we can't quite see that on the radar right now. The center would be out about here somewhere, and to notice though, you're still seeing some significant thunderstorm activity move inland, and it's underneath these individual bands here that we are seeing the strongest wind gusts, perhaps up to 50 miles per hour. So watch out for those. Otherwise, generally winds in the 15 to 30 mile per hour range. Here's the official set of tracks from Sandy, or for Sandy. Each one of these lines represents a track, forecast track of the center of Sandy, and this is what I was pointing out earlier. We're going to start to see soon, in the next 12 hours or so, a turn toward the northeast, and then parallel the Carolina coast offshore. So it's going to remain well offshore. That's why I don't think the conditions there are going to get much worse than they are right now. But then, this is the important part. By Monday midnight, early Monday morning, Sunday midnight, all the model guidance begins to turn it back toward the left, inland to the New England, southern New England, or middle Atlantic coast, including New Jersey. Some of the recent model runs that we've been looking at indeed have a landfall in New Jersey. In fact, some places in northern New Jersey, some in southern New Jersey. So as a strong system, perhaps with Category 1 like winds. So we have to keep in mind and monitor this situation very carefully. Here's the official cone from the Hurricane Center. There's that leftward turn. And on Tuesday morning, they keep it as a 75 mile per hour storm, just about coming on shore. Anywhere really in this red is fair game for now. That's the thinking, but we're really starting to think that maybe the northern half of this red cone will be more likely than the southern half. So that's just something to keep an eye on. And the reason why it's really becoming clearer and clearer with each passing run that it will be, in fact, one that moves into the northeast and not out to sea is because of this steering mechanism right here for Sunday, Monday. It's got an easterly wind around it that will likely prevent it, almost certainly now prevent it from moving out to sea, and instead bring it on shore into the northeast. So stay tuned, and we will bring you the latest updates as we get them. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much, Dr. Postel. Very critical the next 3 to 4 days in the northeast.
And we will be back together again tomorrow and Sunday, same time. Right now, Todd and Danielle will be up, and we'll continue to keep you informed.